Wild Hunt begins!
Hello everyone, Orion here, and welcome to the new Let's Play series for the channel. Now today we're going to be starting a Wood Elf campaign with Orion as our legendary lord. And as I've talked about in previous videos, what I've got in mind for the campaign for this is a bit different than your more typical Wood Elf campaign you've seen on YouTube. But I'm going to be talking about that on the actual campaign map. Before we get to that though, there's a couple things I want to bring up. Firstly, as always, you'll find linked in the video description a mod collection with all the mods for this playthrough, many of which are fairly standard for my campaign, such as the Close to the Tabletop Overhaul, recruit defeated lords and so on. But for the Wood Elves, I have included a couple of mods. One is a retexture for Orion, as you can see in the thumbnail. Another one will allow me to recruit the Queen of the Wood Elves, Ariel, as well as the Sisters of Twilight, and they will have their own skills and magical items. And most importantly was a sort of overhaul mod by a chap called Zarkis, the guy that created the Empire Reloaded that I'm using for the Empire campaign. And what it does, it introduces some mechanics for the Wood Elves that are quite thematic according to the lore for them. So for example, we now have seasons, where during autumn and winter my armies will not be as powerful as they will be in spring and summer. And as well, Orion will fit his backstory of having to sacrifice himself on a pyre in order to be reborn for the spring as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how these mechanics work and how they're going to affect our campaign. So that's the first bit. The second bit is, just like I've been doing with the Empire campaign, if you want to submit any character names or unit names, you can find a link pinned into the comment section where you can go and fill in the form and have your names put down on a list for me to use in future episodes. Now, I will be using them as and when I need to, so I'm not going to rush to try and get particular ones in, but they're handy to have as a list for me to be able to use, and it'd be great for you guys to include as many as possible. Just remember that unit names are going to be, well, used a lot more often than character names, so just bear that in mind. Lastly then, just because I know some people are interested, and because I'm using the Lords of Legend mod that does change the traits for our characters, I thought I'd just show you the faction effects here, which are fairly common, and the Lord effects for Orion. Now these are a little bit different from vanilla, because I believe the charge bonus is normally just +8 instead of +20, and we don't have the bonus to missile damage. So already we're going to become a lot more powerful with Orion leading an army. But that makes sense considering he is the king of the elves, or Wood Elves, and, he has fallen behind a little bit compared to some of the other characters in the game. But enough of me now talking. I'm going to see you guys on the campaign map, where we're going to be talking about what we're going to be doing with the campaign. So see you guys in just a sec. Okay, so I've already skipped over the Old Advisors talk because I thought I'll use that instead to explain the campaign. So we can tick that off. We get a little bit here about the Wood Elves and how they play, for those of you that haven't had a chance to play yourselves, so we can skip that. And we get our first chapter objective, which means we have to upgrade the Oak of Ages, which is this building here, to the first level, which is Rivered. Because at the centre of the realms of Avalon stands the Oak of Ages, the beaten heart of the forest and the sacred shrine of the Asrai. From the mighty oak, life flows into the forest and through the world. So, we need to upgrade this as part of the objective from this one to here, basically. And, in a way, this is actually quite important, because this is going to be the main goal for our campaign. Just like a typical one, in that, if we pop on down to here, we need to upgrade the Oak of Ages to its highest level, which is Flourishing, and win the following battle, Defense of the Oak. But how we're going to do it is very different. And to help explain, I'm going to pop onto the tactical map and go to ownership. So, from what I've seen on YouTube, typically a Wood Elf campaign requires you to fight up in the mountains here, going up against the dwarves and the greenskins, going into Batonia, heading down towards Astalia and going down this way, or maybe going up to Leoncoeur and swinging around. Basically, it's the same thing that many people have done. What I've decided to do is actually draw inspiration from a chapter in the history of the Wood Elves called the Season of Retribution. And you can read more about it yourselves in the Warhammer wikis out there. They explain it much better than I probably can. But to give you basically the short version, it's a series of events that happened when Ariel's sister, Allisara, who also happened to be the former wife of Malekith, was killed by a disgraced High Elf prince, who was being manipulated by Moafi, who obviously didn't want her, ex-daughter-in-law to make her way back up to Nagorond in order to try and take Malekith off the path that Moafi sort of set him upon. So she manipulated this prince that ended up fighting her Allisara and her escort in battle on the coast of Batonia, and ended up killing her. Never mind the fact that he killed himself afterwards, because the charm broke when she was able to dispel it with a final dying breath. But, he killed himself then when he realized what he did. But Ariel didn't take the news too well about her sister's death. She went full dark side. She led an army over towards Ulthuan, led by Orion in particular, who was wiping them out because the Prince, Valador his name was from Illyrian, and then she managed to master the dark arts of sorcery, fix the world roots in order to bring an army up to Nagorond, and go after Gwond, and defeat Moafi in a battle, and nearly kill her. So, I've decided to take sort of inspiration from that and have it so the amber that we need to collect will require us to make our way to the coast, go up against the High Elves at Ulthuan, take Ulthuan, and then sail over towards Nagorond in order to take all of this and eliminate the Dark Elves. So, just a small goal, nothing too major, but I thought it would be quite different. Not only that, but we've actually got two secondary objectives. Firstly, we want to try and reunite all the Wood Elves underneath our banner as Orion, King of the Elves. Now, for Avalon is pretty straightforward. Why, we just need to get the Oak of Ages to tier 3 and Confederate. But, if you remember, over here in the Empire, we've got the Lorelorn Forest, which is ruled by a Wood Elf faction. So we want to try and take them back under our control. And as well, all the way down on the very bottom of the map, over here, in the heart of the jungle, you may remember we've got Orion's camp from my Numas campaign. Now, we would like to get those back under our control as well. So we're going to be going out quite far around the map in this playthrough. Secondly then, we've also got the personal objective that if we come across any sort of news or any sightings of Morgul, the Shadow Glaive, we're going to hunt him down and kill him, because for those of you that know your Wood Elf lore, he is sort of the antithesis of Ariel. She is pure, he is corruption embodied, and the Wood Elves in particular hate him. So if we find any news of him on the map, we're going to go and kill him. So that's sort of the goal for this campaign anyway. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. But for now, enough of me talking, because I've been talking for about 8 minutes. Let's get started with the campaign, shall we? Now, our first immediate enemies, if we just check the map, is two Beastman factions I can see here, and Paravan. Now that's going to be a pain in the neck, because Paravan is led by Castellon de Paravan. Now his character gets access to Pegasus pretty quickly, and I believe from when I've had a little go with him myself in my personal time, he actually does start off with Pegasus Knights, and I believe as well a unit of Royal Pegasus Knights, which are going to be an absolute pain to deal with. But we're going to have to try and deal with it. That's the thing. So, we shall try our best, but we want to try and strike them quickly before he gets too much strength, especially with those units in his army. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to move him a little bit closer, because we're going to use the world roots with Orion. And let me just say, he looks so cool in orange and yellow compared to, his normal skin, and how he stands out compared to the forest. It just looks so cool. But we're going to be using the world roots in the following turn to go to Quillas and attack it straight as soon as we can. But we do want to recruit a couple of extra units. Now, which units are we going to get? Well, I'm actually thinking we'll go two units of Eternal Guard and one Glade Guard unit. So we'll go for that right away. And with the extra money we have left, I'm going to go to Kingsglade. And whereabouts is it? Here. We want to go and get Grapevines. It takes 2 turns, but having 800 extra income is going to really help us out. That's the thing with the Wood Elves, their economy is not the best, shall we say, because of how limited we are and how the faction itself works. But we're not going to build any more units, we got another slot we can use in the future, but for now it's okay. But we do have a... who's this? Dodan, a Waystalker. Okay, what's your trait? You're aggressive. You have a nice bit of damage when it comes to fighting in combat, but you're a shooter unit, so it's not going to be as useful. But what I'm going to actually have you do, I'm going to have you start moving up to Quillas. We need to keep track of where Cassian happens to be. So we'll move you up to here, and you can stay there, and we'll go and start leveling him up by attacking Quillas. So that's that done, that's that done. Next we need to do is diplomacy. So let's have a look. Targavan, let's have you do non-aggression. You happy to do that? Yes. Excellent. What about Windroth? Let's have a look. Mediate, yep, you're happy to do it as well. Good. We can't get trade with any of them yet, but that's something we'll have to think about for the future. Carcassonne, we've already got... I've got Cassian on the brain now. We've already got military access on non-aggression. Just curious, with Hammervon, can we actually get... No. It's worth a try. And everyone else, we're kind of neutral with, or they really don't like us. Surprise, surprise. But we got our 2 non-aggression pacts anyway with our neighbours. So we've done that. We go to technology now, and you may notice we've got a couple of extra technologies thanks to that Wood Elf mod. So I believe they do things like... which one is it? It's one of these middle ones. Here, Ladriel's Treasure allows us to actually use a battle spell as long as we have a fighter battle in our own territory to use the dwellers below. So that's going to be really useful. I believe there's some more around on the map as well, but I'm not sure which one's which. So we'll come across them as we do. I believe most of them just affect the New World factions like Tomb Kings, Lizardmen, and so on. So they're not all just giving us powerful spells to use in our own territory. But in fact, what we want to do is start things off by going for more Heg of the Crone. In fact, we might as well queue up the next one. Extra 5% from income. Okay. 10% from armor. Let's go for Val's Armory. That's going to help us out a bit more with our Eternal Guard. So anything that gives my troops armor, as the Wood Elves, is a good thing. So we'll go for that. What else do I need to show off before we actually hit end turn? Oh yeah, this bit actually, the Forge of Starlight. Now this is one of Mixu's mods to represent that Dieth, the leader of Targavan, is basically a legendary smith. He's well known for his skill when it comes to crafting weapons, armor, all sorts. Now many believe he is actually a reincarnation of Val, the elven smith god. And his forge is known as the Forge of Starlight. Now, when we confederate with him, we'll have full access to it and be able to basically make weapons, very much like the Tomb Kings and the Dwarves. But until then, we have a very limited version of it, which allows me to make special arrows for our Glade Lords. So they provide certain bonuses like, the Hagbane tips allows us to do poison attacks, rapid fire, flaming attacks, or armor piercing. Now, I don't think they actually work with Orion, because Orion is not a Glade Lord. So I'm not going to worry about getting him any. And he already gets armor piercing, I believe, anyway, so we don't have to even worry about arcane bodkins. So we'll leave that for now. That is everything we need to do for this turn. So let's end turn. I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay. So first of all, we'll get our news about Internal Guard recruited, which you can read a little bit about here if you're interested. I always like this little pop-up just to tell you about the actual units and how they fit in with the faction. I always like that. So that's the Eternal Guard. That's the one about the Glade Guards, as you can see. And we also got our first quest as well, Guardian of the Oak. So we need to upgrade the Oak of Ages to his next tier, Withered. And this will give us the Banner of the Hunter King. That's actually quite good. Gives you an augmented thing of charge bonus, melee attack, and causes fear. Oh, that's good. So we got that, and the Banner of the Eternal Queen. Gives damage resistance and leadership to people within an area, and gives magic resistance 15%. Oh wow, definitely want to try and get those when we can. So we got that at least. Now it's time for us to actually start moving towards Quillas. Now let's have a look first of all. assault the garrison. There's no sign of Cassian, so I presume he's further up north. And we managed to do that. Perfect. Picked up a hunting hound as well. Our loyal hound tried tested in much a killer as any bow-armed elf. So this actually includes our chance of intercepting someone in the underway, beast paths, whatever. That might be handy for Orion rather than Doden. But we'll level you up. Now the thing is, he's going to be quite useful for us to use in battle because of his particular skills. Waystalkers are fantastic when it comes to shooting enemies. So I kind of want to focus that instead of the more typical campaign skills. So for example, we've got the Eye of Kurnos here, which makes it so, allies nearby are going to get a 10% bonus to missile damage. So we definitely want to get that. And we're going to go for the Arrow of Kurnos as well. This allows me to basically shoot at range and do a lot of damage to someone at a good distance. And does armor piercing damage on top, so that's going to be useful. So we'll go for that. Now Ryan, let's get you moving. We're going to use the world routes and move you so you're going to be here in Carcassonne territory, but in position that we can go after Quillas next turn. So we'll get that sorted out. King's Glade has got one more turn left until this is done. And otherwise, that's basically it. That is our turn. I just want to double check. We haven't managed to get in contact with Aguilan yet. So Durfu is just up here, don't forget. And so we'll have to wait until we get further up before we can contact him. But otherwise, that's another turn phase. These first few turns for this episode and maybe the next one are going to be fairly quick because we only got one army, one settlement, and we have a very limited income. So we're just going to be able to get through these quite quick. So let's head to the next one. Okay, so we've got a couple of pop-ups that have come up. Didn't expect that. We already got an incursion in the King's Glade. So what we got here? Greenskins. Led by a... I can't tell. Are you a shaman? Or are you just a Night Goblin Warlord? I can't tell from the picture. But anyway, we've got to defeat Frogger in keeping up appearances. These fungal pests were not granted permission to enter our territory, nor would they ever be. Squash them and return purity to these glades. So if we do this, we get Amber, and we get Battle Masters, plus 5 leadership for all armies for 4 turns. Okay, we'll take that quite happily. Now, the thing is, you're all the way back here, and we're already going after Quillas. What's the garrison like in King's Glade? Not too bad. We've got a Tree Man. We've got a few ranged units with our Glade Guard and Deepwood Scouts and Rangers. These apparently are supposed to be quite good against, against armor, but I've never really used them. It's been a long time. So I'm going to have to try them out of combat. And we've got Dryads as well. To be honest, we can take them on easily enough, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. Instead, we're going to go and deal with Quillas. So let's go and get you into the army first of all. And let's get you to attack the settlement. What we got? To be honest, this is an easy fight that we could just auto-resolve. But I am going to fight it. The reason being is that if we're going to go up against Cassian and that in the future, I don't want to take any real casualties in the fight. So let's fight the battle myself and see how we do. So, see you in a moment. Okay, let's give this a go. It's been a little while since I played as the Wood Elves, so hopefully we can get into the swing of them pretty easily. So, how am I going to do this? Okay, enemies are probably going to deploy right in front of us here, simple thing to do. We want to take advantage of our ranged ability and just blast them if possible. So, let's grab my Eternal Guard. Do you want to pull back into the trees, or try and pull further up? I mean, getting them higher up would be handy. Nah, I'll tell you what, let's actually use this. We'll split them across here. Spread them out a little bit so we can take on multiple enemies. But we can use this little sort of stone here as to protect the flank. And then if they try and swing around, we'll be able to deal with them. So we'll put the archers and then put you guys actually in the front line for the moment, along with Doden. So you guys can be here. Let's have you, Orion, here, ready to charge forward. Orion, despite his high levels of melee attack and defense, is not really designed to be a melee fighter, simply because his armor is terrible. Depending on what upgrades we get, we can improve that, but for now it's just not ideal. So we'll leave that for now. Wild Riders, we can put you in Vanguard, but unfortunately there's nowhere really we can put you. Yeah, it's outside of the battle. What we'll do then, let's stick you quite close by. Let's stick you in the trees here, so we can swing them about and go after their bowmen I saw in the army. As for you guys, let's just have you pull back over here. We can have you maybe try and take some shots, maybe flank, you know, kite away some of the enemy. We shall see. Oh yeah, the other thing I need to remember, because the Bretonnians we're facing, apart from the Scryers, tend to be pretty lightly armoured. Is it, yeah, Ray Watchers and Doden. We can actually swap their shots over to multiple shots. So as you can see, the armor piercing goes down, but they actually shoot more often and do more damage as a result. So we switch that over to that and that. Okay, we need you to pull back. We don't want you taking too many shots from the enemy bowman. But we can actually fire this at an enemy unit. And where's those Scryers? Here. Alright. So this basically shoots a high armor penetrating shot, times 3 at the enemy. Does do a bit better against enemy characters, I believe. But you can just see, look at the decimation it's just done. It's just blasted a whole bunch of them. Wow. I mean, they lost 15 men in that one attack. It's powerful. Okay, let's switch back to normal thing. Now, we want to make sure we use Hawk's Talon and the Hounds of Orion as well. Now, this seems to have pretty good range. Right, we want to make it, say, about... In fact, let's target the Foot Squires. Here. 2, 1. Okay, is it going to work? Hit him. Hit him. Oh, just missed. Okay, what about this one? Okay, this one they need to get a bit closer. Right, that's fine. Let's get you guys... come over here and start shooting the spearmen, I think. Okay, I haven't detected our Wild Riders yet. Okay. How much closer do they need to get? Nearly there, in fact. Okay. Let's presume it's about 3 seconds as well. Cast it here. 2, 1. Right on top of it. There goes the doggies. Wow, look at all that devastation. I mean, we're designed to do a lot of damage against with our missile troops. And there's no kid in here. That's extremely powerful. We need to switch that back over. Okay. Ryan's going to start firing any minute. You guys need to pull back, so you can blast the enemy as they engage my internal guard. Okay, let's have you guys come over here and deal with them. Wild Riders, we need to switch you past, and then we're going to have you go after the Peasant Bowmen. So if you guys can do that. Okay. Unfortunately, my internal guard are taking some damage now. But that's okay. We need to have you guys charge forward. Let's have you guys charge forward. You focus your attention on that unit. Okay, you guys charge forward. Okay, have you had a chance to reload this? You have. Okay, blast that unit now. Okay, you're taking a lot more damage than I was anticipating. Okay, let's get Orion over there to try and help out a little bit. Okay, ready to feed to that unit just like that. Let's bring you guys around here and then to deal with them. You guys come over here. You've already defeated one unit and again another one to go. Okay, that one's nearly been done. Okay, let's get you guys come over here. Let's have you come over here now and deal with them. You shoot these spearmen. Okay, talk about taking more casualties than I was expecting. But let's pull you guys back. Okay, Orion, let's get you involved in here. In fact, let's use your ability quick and kill a few more of these before they leave. Okay, keep you guys back a moment. Okay, that's fine. Now don't forget, as we're fighting a battle basically for a city, We're just going to head and end the battle right away, and a decisive victory to me. So, let's head back to the campaign map and sort out the fate of Quillas. Okay, so first battle and first blood to the Wood Elves. Although, as I was waiting for it to come back to the screen, I couldn't help but notice, in fact, how many casualties we took from friendly fire. Because if you add up the amount of kills they've got here, it adds up to about 27. And we lost 60 men. So roughly over half the casualties from our side came from our own arrows. That's something I'm going to have to be prepared for in future battles. But for now, nevertheless, we've managed to win the fights. Now, what we're going to do with Quillas, we could actually seed it and get some more amber, or we can sack it and just leave it there, or we can burn it to the ground and get more money. To be honest, we want to weaken Paravan. Bye-bye. So, we've got a War Dancer Drummer, +2 Public Order, and when we get War Dancers, that'll be a nice little bonus. Picked up the Brass Cleaver. What does that do again? Gives everyone nearby +9 melee attack. I can manage that, so that's going to be handy. But, Quillas has now been destroyed. What I'm planning to wait and see now is actually to maybe pull back into our own territory again. Or even see if Paravan will come down and try and recolonize Quillas. And then we'll come in and take them when they're weakened because of it. But we'll wait and see what happens there. For now though, let's go on to here. And what we're going to give Orion. Well, to be honest, I'm thinking the Eye of Kurnos straight away. Because again, extra missile damage. Quite handy. We could jump ahead and actually apparently give him sight beyond sight. Gives people nearby 15% missile damage. Which, don't forget, with his Fat Lord skill, makes it so that my troops get +30%. And when you consider the other chap as well, that's another 10% on top. Ooh, that's going to be nice. Yeah, in fact, let's go for that. Sight beyond sight. Let's give us that big bonus. Now, Doden unfortunately didn't level up, although he's pretty close to going up to the next tier in future. So we'll keep an eye on that. We've got a bit of extra cash, so if I go down to King's Glade, what do I want to get? We've got the Salafoy Gallery, which gives me the Eternal Guard. We can't build the Forge yet to give our troops shields. At least I don't think we can. No. We need to get this one at the next tier. But with the goblins nearby, do I want to try and get a bit of a better garrison? Or do I want to just try and get something else? Because I do feel the current garrison should be able to take them on if they try to attack. So we could actually do something like go after the Glade Guard hide, which will eventually give me access to, what are these? Deadwood Scouts and Way Watchers. That will be quite handy for us to get. Especially these ones with Swift Shivered Shards. This allows them to be able to do the multiple shots that the Way Watchers can do. Or we can go for the Muster Stones and get Cavalry next time. Get Glade Riders, and then eventually Wild Riders. And even up here, the Sisters of the Fawn. That could be interesting. It's just so much stuff to try and think about. I'll tell you what we can do. What's this one here? Trapper's Den. Yeah, this gives me extra growth and casualty replenishment. We'll take that. We'll see what they're going to do. They haven't got any stronger, so that's fine. So we'll hit end turn. See if Paravan's going to come down towards Quillas to try and take us on. Otherwise, we'll move back in and get some replenishment at King's Glade. So let's see what happens. Okay, no sign of them. Although, what's this? Beastmen Rising set up. The number of beastmen have grown in recent years. Deep in the forests of the old world, in hidden caves and secluded desert regions, they are waiting for their time to come. Will the tribes leave their homes to plague and destroy the civilizations of men, dwarves, and elves? Choosing yes will enable the beastmen invasions in the mid and late game. Alright, so the model for Zarkis that did the Wood Elf Overhaul, which hasn't actually popped up yet, although I do notice that, so I think that might be something to do with it. But we've also got one for the Beastmen, which makes it so if we choose yes, it seems, we'll start having Beastmen invasions very similar to Chaos. Ones that will occur in the mid-game, I think like turn 50, something like that I remember seeing, and again at turn 100. So, why not? Let's have a few invasions take place, shall we? Now, what do we want to do here? I do want to pull back and get a bit of extra replenishment. It's a shame that we haven't got anyone here that we can just sort of pop over and land in our territory, you know? But what we could do, let's send Doden off and get him to start leveling up a little bit more. So in fact, if we pop on here, let's have a look. Let's go assault units and specialist. Because what we can have him do then, yeah, as you can see, they've got Royal Pegasus Knights and 2 units of Pegasus Knights. Huh. Why have you taken some damage already from something?
Protector of the forest.
No matter. Let's have you assault their units. He failed. Bugger. Well, so much for that. As for Orion, though, let's actually switch you over to use the world routes. Can we just make it into our own land? Not quite.
That is impossible.
Come on. Give me that little bit of movement. Just one little square. Oh no. Val's Anvil. Come on. No, we're not. In fact, what about here? What? Anything that might even hint it's in the Oak of Ages? No? Apparently not. Okay, no matter. No matter. Right, we'll move back in our next turn anyway. We'll have Doden continue his work up there. Okay, let's say end turn. Huh. So Cassion's now heading down, it seems, to Quillas, where he's going to go ahead and colonize it. Meaning now, give me 2 turns, we'll be able to sneak in and actually go after him then. Ah, he's made a mistake. Ooh, what's this? Imperial Peace. We heard rumours that Kislev the Emperor and the elected counts have made a secret arrangement to not attack each other. Are those rumours true? The rumours are true to make all factions and Kislev not attack each other for the rest of the campaign. All Imperial factions would declare on anybody that sacks, razes, or occupies 3 or more cities in the original Imperial provinces. This will lead to a different campaign experience. So if we choose this one, basically the game will stay the same, but if we choose this one, then the Imperial states, you know, Hockland, Ostland, and so on, will not be able to declare war on each other, and they will actually work together. Let's go, the rumours are true. That's how basically the Empire should be, in theory. Yeah, I like that. Okay, Orion, make your way back to here, because now we've noticed that Cassion has weakened himself. We're going to go after the guy. Let's head down now as well. Assault the units as well if we can, and get a few more casualties.
Impossible.
Failure again, Doden, really? You disappoint me, my friend. Really have. You've got a few more units. We are going to have to be a bit careful of this then when it comes to them attacking King's Glade, which will probably happen in the future. We could do something to fix that though. We do have a few units, much bit of money available. We could recruit a character. Now we've got a few options, as you can see, including High Weavers, which are spell weavers that are able to use high magic, as well as I believe the laws of heaven and life. I'm trying to remember. They have access to one or the other on top of high magic. And we also get, if we go to the top, then Dark Weavers that have access to the dark magic that Dark Elves can use, as well as I believe it's fire and death. But don't quote those on me, you can see them in the form in the comment section anyway, which ones they actually use. Because I go for a tree man, that would be quite useful, but that's a lot of upkeep. I'd rather not spend that much. Discipline will give extra melee attack and defense. And as you can see here, we got the Sisters of Twilight and we got Ariel. In fact, Ariel I think will make a nice fitting one for now. So let's go for that and stick her in here for the moment. Basically, she's a sort of revamped, textured version of the Fey Enchantress at Carcassonne. So she looks quite similar to her, but with a bit more changes, as you can see. Although I don't like this. That looks just weird to me. I think that if they could have taken it off, they should have done. But that's just me. Anyway, can we actually do something with her now, too? Yeah, we can actually put her... No, we can't put her in any positions yet. Oh, they need to be level 3, right. That could be quite useful. Okay. In that case, I think it's safe to say we're going to bring the episode to an end shortly. I'm going to let her recruit a couple units of these guys. Just so we have a few more units we can potentially give to Orion once we're done with these guys here. But, yeah. Let's hit enter now. And see if anything happens. Otherwise, we'll bring the episode at the start of the next turn to an end. So, let's find out. Ah, the guy's trying to run away. Oh, you poor fool. There's nothing stopping me from tracking him down and going to kill him. Once we deal with him, it will make things so much easier. But look at this. We've now got the combat at King's Glade. So let's have a quick look what they actually got at their disposal. They got a great shaman called a Fogger, some orc boys, some goblins, a lot of archers. Well, against us, they're going to need it. And 2 warclobbers. Okay. To be honest, I feel the balance bar is lying, but we're going to find out at the beginning of the next episode. Oh, excuse me. So for now, thank you very much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I do hope you join me next time for some more Warhammer. But until then, everyone, take care. And goodbye for now, bloody hiccups.